See this chair? Right? This chair, my students would tell you, Chris will bear me out on this. This chair is called the hot seat. This is the hot seat. When you're in this chair, you are mine, right? You are totally mine, all mine. And, you know, and which means that you, unfortunately, you have to deal with me no matter what I give to you, no matter what I say, whatever. You're there, and I don't allow you to move. Okay, now last night I did say to you that we were going to be come on up here, little healer girl. Yes, you. Yeah, yeah. Hot seat, hot seat. I did tell you that I was going to give you some little pointers and some little tips as to how you can, and if you've got notebooks, write this phrase down. It is important, okay? So you can't sit with your back to that young man there. So we gotta slide you over here. Sorry, there you go. Thank you, darling. Okay. So, you comfy there?
Yep.
Yeah. Why am I looking up to you? You should be looking up to me. I said, no, darling, no. No. Okay.
Yeah, your seat's lower.
It's really, you think? Okay.
Plus, I'm tall.
That's all right. Now, hold my hand. I don't want you to be nervous.
I'm not nervous.
You're not nervous?
No.
Oh, get away then. Go on.
Okay.
Right then. So, I did say to you I was going to talk to you a little bit about you can write this down. Raise your level of consciousness. Don't ask me to spell consciousness because I'd have difficulty this morning even beginning to do it. Raising your level of consciousness. When you raise your level of consciousness, that means that you are attempting to put yourself in a place where you can lift up within you. You're lifting up your sensitivity. You are lifting up your vibration, your vibrational level. You are lifting up. You are, in other words, connecting with your soul and lifting up. Are you busy over there? Let's not worry. Just scribble it. You're good. Anyway. That's funny. Anyway, so when you're raising your level of consciousness, we're talking about raising your level of awareness of things that are beyond the physical. Does that make sense? Now, today, you're spending 3 hours with me today. I might cut it short depending on how I'm feeling. But however long we spend together, we are participating. So when I say any questions, you better have them ready, because I'm not doing all the work today. We are participating. So you have questions, I attempt to answer them. I want you thinking, and I want you asking questions, and I want you to, no good going away and then at lunchtime coming over to my table and saying, oh, you know, you said so-and-so. I will shoo you away, because once I am done, I am done. And also, whatever I say, if even 5 minutes later, I might have forgotten, hold that, that's yours. I might have forgotten all about whatever I said 5 minutes ago. So if you have questions, are you listening?
I have a question.
Wait, let me finish.
Okay.
I knew she was trouble. Anyway, if you have questions, I want you to ask them. I'm here for the morning. You've got me for the entire morning, and you might not see me ever again. There are ways to see me again. You can see me again, I promise you. But, you know, there are, what's the matter with you? Oh, how to switch it on. Okay.
Yeah, didn't know how.
Okay. Right. Okay. So we are participating. Now, before I get going with this lovely little girl here, because I'm going to talk to you about one of the ways that we can raise our level of consciousness. When you raise your level of consciousness, what you're doing is you're opening up. You're basically opening a door. Now, it's very important when you open that door that you open a door to things that are good, to things that are positive, to things that are clear and true and pure. Imagine somebody comes knocking on your door, okay? And you don't know who it is behind that door. It's a total stranger. You don't just open the door and say, come on in, do you? Or, well, if you do, you're a fool, right? Because that person could want to come in and harm you. That person could want to come in and damage you in some way. Yesterday, I hope that I made it clear to you all, I think I made it clear to you all how important this subject is to me. You can tell by my intensity and by my enthusiasm and so on, hopefully, that I take this very, very seriously with a good dose of humor, because I think that when we're talking to people who have passed, if you've lost someone and you're in pain and you know, you have this awful grief and so on, the best way to deal with pain and hurt, if you're British, we use humor. And I can remember once in Canada, you know, the toilet rolls were abounding. There were about 3,000 people in the audience, and people were passing toilet rolls to other people because some people had seen me before. They knew to come prepared. You know, no point with a box of tissues, no point with those little things there. You know, they were, you know, this one woman says, I got a toilet roll if anybody wants one. And she'd bought a whole stack of toilet. They were passed through the audience. Everybody was blowing their noses, but everybody was laughing as well. We were all laughing and having a good time. And I remember this one woman wrote me a letter and she was so upset with me. She said, how, when there's so much grief and when there's so much pain and when there's so much heartache, how can you possibly laugh? My answer is, when there is so much pain and when there is so much grief and when there is so much heartache, how can you possibly not? How are you going to deal with the pain and the hurt without some humor in there? You have to use humor. And those people who sort of have serious depression, those people who are seriously grieving and can't handle it, can't deal with it, those are the people who need to laugh the most. Do they have anything at all to laugh about? Of course they don't, but we find something. Because we've been given, we weren't just, you know, God didn't just say, hey, here you go, deal with it. You're on your own now. He gave us gifts. He gave us tools that we could use to help us in our life and in our life work. He, you know, gave us the ability to laugh. He gave us the ability to cry. He gave us all kinds of tools that we should use, but often people don't know that they can use them and they don't know how to use them, even if they're given them. It's a little bit like me saying to all of you, okay, now this is what I want you to do this morning. I want you to make a chocolate cake. I'm not going to give you a recipe. Figure it out. How many people could do it?
I tried.
Yeah, no, but no, no. Let me be clear. How many people could make a delicious chocolate cake without the recipe? Just me. I'm a, I'm a cook, just me. But we need the ingredients, right? And not only do we need the ingredients, which I'm going to give you a few of them today. We not only need the ingredients, we need to know what to do with them. You can't just throw them all in the mix and, spoon them around and hope for the best. You have to blend the butter with the sugar and you have to add the milk a little slowly at a time. And learning the tools of raising your level of consciousness, learning the tools of becoming more aware and more in tune with those outside forces is we have to learn how and when to use the tools that we're given in a responsible way. Now, I would be lying to you if I told you that everything about the universe is good. It isn't. We know that there are dark souls. Has anybody read my book, A Garden of Souls? No. What?
I bought it, but I haven't read it yet.
What night? What night?
She just got it.
Oh, well, that's all right. That's fine. Okay. You're good. Yes, Chris. Oh, it's okay, right. Okay. So A Garden of Souls is all about different, we're not going to do that today. You'd love to do it. It's fun. We'll see how we go. But in that book, which, by the way, I'm the author of that book, just so you know, just saying. Grey Eagle and I wrote that book. He gave me all of the information, and it's all in that book. So it's a really, 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 really great book, and it talks about energy, and it talks about why, for instance, you get on better with your mother than you do with your father because the energy is more compatible. It talks about how in the workplace you can't stand that woman at that desk. You know how you know how that feels. I know you know how that feels. Oh, can't stand her. And it's because your energies, you're one energy, she's another energy, and you're clashing. So different energies go, we all of us have a certain basic energy. We're all born, created, our soul is created from a certain type of energy. And that certain type of energy is compatible with some others and totally incompatible with others. So when we're learning about these tools, we need to know, okay, we need to know how to use them, how to blend them, etc. We only have the morning. I can only do so much. But if you're interested in doing a week-long workshop with me at any time in the future, just give your information to Chris back there and we'll see what we can do. Who would like to work with me for a long weekend? 3-day weekend. Yes, because you want to know, don't you? Where's your hand nut up? I know you want to do. What?
I'm difficult.
Oh, that's right, you are. I forgot. Yes, I forgot. Okay, but in the book Soul Signs, we do talk about dark souls. A lot of people don't like me to talk about dark souls because they'd rather not. Let's not know what we don't need to know. However, I think it's very important that we know about dark souls because if we know, it's like you teach your kid, don't talk to strangers, don't, if somebody comes to talk to you, run away. We teach them to be careful. But as adults, we're not necessarily so careful. And for those of you who want to learn more about this subject and you'd love to know more about how to raise your level of consciousness, there it is again, that phrase keeps coming up. you have to be aware that when you are opening the door to this subject, when I say this subject, my subject, when you are opening the door, you can't just let anybody in. And there are dark forces. And if you open the door, if you start, let's say, dabbling, then you could be in trouble. So obviously, the first thing I'm going to show you is how not to be in trouble. Don't let a stranger come in. You are not, you're not opening the door and saying, hey, everybody. No, we're opening the door to the good, to the positive, to that which is pure, to that which is of God and of that God force that is out there. That's what we do. And so I'm going to be showing you, it's a very simple thing really simple thing you have to do. But so many people, you sit at a Ouija board and there they are and they're open. And then they get all this stuff. Then they start having nightmares, and then they come to somebody like me and say, oh, this and this and this happened, and I'm having these horrible dreams and so on. So we don't let anything in that isn't of God and of that God force which is out there. Now, some of you may not believe in God. Some of you may believe perhaps in a higher force, but not necessarily God. You might call it something else. I always tell people, God is only dog spelled backwards, and I am a dog lover. So I'm also a God lover too. All right. So whatever your belief, whatever your faith, whatever it is that you believe in, you want it to come from a pure place, from a place of goodness and from a place of light. So because I'm here today, that place of goodness and that place of light happens to be that God force, which I feel surrounds us all. And we need to keep that in mind when we are raising our level of consciousness and we are becoming more sensitive and more aware, even if it's only that you're meditating. Because again, when you are attempting to do things, you are opening the door. So before you open the door and let anything in, make sure that you're protected. Right? How do we make sure we're protected? Does anybody want to answer that one? Yes, darling.
How do we make sure we're protected?
Yes. How?
I don't know.
Oh, now I'm asking.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you? Do
A prayer.
you? Can you say that to me again?
A prayer.
Yes, a prayer. It's simple because God hears. So we say always before I give healing, we're going to be taught. This little girl yesterday, you all got to learn that she's a healer, right? I'm a nurse, she said, when I said to her, you have lovely healing hands here. I'm a nurse, she said. Do you remember that? So, but she's also more importantly, she is a healer. And so, that's there is a difference. You can be a healer and not be a nurse. You can be a healer and not be a doctor. You don't necessarily need to, but people who have healing hands usually are people who work with people or with animals, or, they're sort of drawn to helping. Okay, so we're going to be practicing. Do I know your name?
Krista.
Where's your
It's there.
tag? Oh, don't bother. What's your name?
Krista.
Krista.
Yeah.
So we're going to be playing with Krista a little bit. So I'm going to be asking a little bit later. I'm going to be asking for a volunteer who has a sad story. Everybody has a sad story. We all have sad stories. I did promise you yesterday that I'm going to show you how we can go from the negative to the positive, right? So I think about it. If you'd like to volunteer, I'm going to give you a few minutes. I'm going to ask for a volunteer who's going to come up here and sit on this chair and tell us their sad story. It can't be too long, I'm afraid. You know, we don't want a book. We just want, you know, condense it down if you can. But we all have a sad story, and I did warn you, this is the hot seat. But right now, I would like another volunteer who might need healing. Up you get then.
How do you know if it was really?
Look, I warned you. Here's the deal. I'm sorry. I warned you. I'm not getting up and down today. I'm sorry. My back is done.
It was like
Okay.
hours from now.
No, no. The chair keeps wobbling around here. Krista, can you get off that hot seat,
Yes.
please?
Can I sit down?
No,
Okay.
don't, totally not.
Hi.
And your name is?
Mimi,
Mimi.
yes.
Oh,
Or legally Francesca, but nobody calls me that.
oh, you prefer Mimi?
Yes.
I'm Mosey.
Mousy, there we
Yeah,
go.
I'm Mosey, only to my grandson. Do not refer to me as Mosey. It is a special name for my grandson. Oh, yeah,
But I've had Mimi since birth. It's not a grandma thing.
that's fine.
Yes.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Right, so can we,
Where do you want me?
no, I want the microphone for 1 second, Krista.
Yes.
So is there any particular reason that you would like healing?
Yes.
Would you like
Tell
to,
the story?
would,
All right.
hold my hand?
Okay.
We're good. We're good.
2-minute version. When I was 17, I had a daughter, and it was one of those incidents, parents send you out of town and you come back without a baby. So then when I did get married, I tried to have children, and I had 3 miscarriages. So I thought I was being punished for giving my daughter up. So then I finally got my son, who was my world. And because I had, all this going on, I just did everything right. Everything, he was my world. He took his life on June 10th of this year.
Oh, darling, listen, don't tell me anything.
Oh, I'm sorry to be doing that. I thought we would tell the story.
Well, yes, that's okay. Come on. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, I'm okay.
Now, yesterday, we talked to 2 ladies who both lost their sons to suicide, remember? So, well, what will we do with you? We have to wait and see, but carry on. But you are a mess. That's all,
But
that's
I'm
all.
okay.
But no,
I'm not okay, but
you're actually not okay, but you're okay here with me right
yes.
now. So why would you like some healing? Would you like healing for your emotional stress, or would you like healing, anything physical going on here aside from your back? Can I just look? Can you just say, how did I know? She's sweet. Don't you think? She said, how did you know? How did you know?
I've had back issues. Yeah.
Yeah, really?
But
You
for-
think?
I was a
For a
mailman.
while. You were a mailman?
Yes.
Oh, good for you. Okay,
Explains the back.
okay, yeah. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna work on this.
But I'd rather have healing for
Than
my
what?
son, not for me.
Oh, let's not worry about your son right now, shall we?
That's
We,
all
you
I
know,
want.
no, no. Okay, so every one of us is born with the gift to heal. We all have it. Some of us have it more than others. Christy has it in spades. But we all of us have the gift to heal, and we can heal ourselves and we can heal others. Healing is through touch. We just, but now this might sound a little off. And if you, I'm going to ask you questions a little. I'm going to not ask you questions. I'm going to ask you if you have any questions. We can touch with our hands. We can touch physically, but we can also touch with our mind, our thoughts, because thoughts are the most powerful thing we have. Our thoughts are like tiny, tiny little pulses of energy that go out into the universe. And as they go out, if they're good thoughts, they're a little bit like, you know, the rolling stone gathering moss, or the snowball that gets bigger and bigger the way it goes down the hill. If our thoughts are good and positive, they will gather, 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 and they'll connect with other collective positive thoughts. If our thoughts are negative, the same thing happens. So when those thoughts reach that person that you are sending those thoughts out to as a healer, you're thinking about that person you'd like to send healing to, you have to be very careful with your thoughts, and you have to make sure that those thoughts are positive. We want to send healing out to others. But here's what happens with our thoughts, with our energy. We're sending it out. We're sending it out into the universe. We're sending hopefully positive thoughts. But at some point, it is our energy. And at some point, we have the boomerang effect, because it's going to come straight back at us. If we have good thoughts, powerful thoughts, positive thoughts, we get those positive, powerful thoughts back. Like, remember, the snowball just gets bigger and bigger. The energy gets more and more. So the more good you do, the more good you send out there into the universe, the more it's going to come back to you and hit you, right? If you send out negative thoughts, it is the same thing. So we don't want negative thoughts. We don't want to send them out. And sometimes it's really hard not to send out those negative thoughts, because sometimes, there's somebody out there, we don't like them, or they did something that wasn't very nice, or they hurt someone, and so on and so forth. It's very easy to put those negative thoughts out there, and they do exactly the same thing. They gather, 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 gather. They hit the person that we're thinking those negative thoughts to, but then they're coming back to us, which isn't good. So it's always important, especially when you're giving healing, whether it's to yourself or whether it's to others, it's always important that we think those positive and those powerful and those good, pure God energy thoughts. That's what we want to do. So we are now, I'm going to talk to Christy. I'm going to show her how she needs to give you healing. Never mind your son. I want you to be completely selfish right now. I tell my
That's hard
students,
for me.
be selfish with yourself first. Give to yourself first. It's important that you give to yourself first, because if you don't give to yourself, and if you don't keep yourself positive, you're going to be no use to anybody else. You're going to dry out. You're just going to be worn out and dry out, which is what is happening to you. You are dried out. You're a dried up
Yes.
old woman. What can I tell you?
Yes, I hope.
Okay. So it's very important. The first lesson of any healer, certainly my healers, is be selfish with yourself. Give to yourself first, in order that you can then be much more positive and much more aware in when you're giving to others. Because if you give to yourself, you have more of yourself to give to others. All right? So I'm an advocate of selfishness, not to the point where you walk all over everybody else, but I'm an advocate of selfishness in you feed you first. If you feed you first, then you are more able to give and to feed others. Are you paying attention,
Yes,
young lady? Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now, unfortunately, I have to get up. Getting up could be difficult, but here we go. All right, so, oh, look at that, see? Oh, but anyway, no, just kidding. Right, now then. Okay, this is little Christy. We knew from yesterday, we learned she's a healer. As I just said, we all have the ability to heal. God gave us that ability. Some of us have it more than others. This young lady, boy, oh boy, do you have it,
Thank you.
right? Well, I'm not sure it's a compliment.
I know, it's a pain.
It's just because, you know, being a healer creates its own issues. It means that you can't always turn off, even when you want to. And it means that, you know, somebody comes to you and they want something from you. The one thing you have to learn as a healer, there's this one little word, and I learned it a long time ago. I had to, for my own safety, for my own peace of mind. You have to learn the word no. Are you paying attention?
Yes.
You have to learn the word no, but not only do you have to learn to say it, you have to mean it. And people will come at you and come at you and come at you. Can you imagine my life when people know what I do? You know, everybody wants a piece, which is exactly what they should want. No problem with that. But I'm only human. I'm just a little human being. That's all I am. A little human being, and I've only got so much. Christy, you've
Yes.
only got so much.
I'm aware, I'm learning that.
Oh, yeah, but it's taken you a long
It's like
time.
a long
And
time.
look, you've still not really got it. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm working on it.
Okay. So, all right. So let me help you to raise your level of consciousness just a little bit, okay? So raising your level of consciousness means that you're going to open yourself up to the possibility that you can heal, even if you're not as strong as her. That's Christy, sorry, I don't need to call you her. Her or she, don't you hate it when people do that? Sorry. Anyway, raising your level of consciousness, first of all, means putting yourself in that space. So I'm going to ask you all, pens down. Pens down. Pens, thank you, down. All right. I know, you could, it's all recorded. You could, you know, don't worry. Okay. And I want you to sit in what I call, this is, you're my students now for a little bit. I want you to sit in what I call a receiving position. Hands, palms up on your laps. Okay, all right. So you're now in a receiving position. You're in a place, good girl. You're in a place now where you're ready to receive. But now we have to make sure that when we're receiving, because we're now opening the door a little bit, when you are receiving, you have to make sure, we have to make absolutely certain that what we're receiving is of God. We have to make sure that we are connecting with that God force, that beautiful, that powerful, that pure God force, because that's where we want to go, right? Okay, so in order to do this, I'm going to say a prayer, a collective prayer, okay? This is a prayer that I use prior to pretty much any work that I do, but particularly, you stay there a minute, but watch me. Okay, so particularly when I have a patient, let's take that away from you. Let's put it there. Okay. Can you turn? That's a good girl. Thank you. So you can, we already discussed this. You can do this by thought. You don't need the patient in front of you. A lot of my patients want to be in front of me. They feel that if I don't touch them, that it's not working as well, which is not at all true. The second thing I think we need to know as healers is, and I always give my students a time limit. The truth is that healing only takes moments, but the patient likes more than moments. So in order to give the patient, a little encouragement, in order to get them to the point where they're settled, can you feel my energy already?
I do.
See that there? That's your solar plexus, right in there. And as I'm talking to you and all of you, where, okay, how can I say where I'm going off a little bit into another realm here. We're talking chakra points. The word chakra, doesn't it sound mystical? Chakra points. Sounds fabulous and mystical and wonderful. But do you know what it means? It's a Hindu word and it means spinning wheel. That's it. There's no mystery. Do you remember what I said yesterday? I don't believe in the paranormal and I don't believe in the supernatural. I believe it's all normal and natural and part of us. So I will use the word chakra, but get it in your head. It's simply a foreign word. It's a Hindu word meaning spinning wheel. And one of our chakra points, energy points, really, is seated right in the solar plexus. You know where if you're nervous, you start to get butterflies in your tummy, or if you're stressed out and you start to feel sick, it gets you in your gut right there. That's your chakra point. That's that spinning wheel starting to churn and to work and that's why you're feeling sick, or that's why you're feeling nervous or excited or whatever it is. You've heard people talk about butterflies in the tummy, right? Right here, butterflies in the tummy. So, okay, so as I'm talking to you, put your hands, young lady, on your lap. Come on. And you. Okay, you can feel that if you like, but I don't want you to feel it with your hand. I want you to feel it as you're breathing. I want you to breathe in gently, but breathing in weirdly, breathing in through your solar plexus. Fill your lungs, fill your lungs with that energy. You're breathing in this really great and this really good energy. And as you're all doing this, and my patient better be doing this, and my healer better be doing this. I do, Mimi, okay, nearly asleep. I promise you I'm going to put you to sleep. Right, only for a second.
How can you do that every night?
All right, so before we start, and breathing just gently, easily, doesn't have to be, you don't have to go crazy with it, just nice and gentle and easy. Breathing in this energy through your solar plexus, through that chakra point, okay? Okay, so as I'm talking to you, I've already started working with Mimi. You have to feel it, right? Can you feel me? Can you feel my energy? Okay, all right, so as we're doing this, okay, before I begin, my healing, whether it's with myself, on myself, or whether it's with somebody else, I always begin with a protective prayer. This is my prayer. Okay, if you want to know it and write it down later, I'll give it to you again. But right now, no scribbling. I want you to uncross your legs, feet on the ground. There's a good girl. Okay, I want you to be a nice, clear channel. Okay, so we begin, dear God. I like that, don't you? Dear God, please allow me to be a part of this healing process. Allow me to participate with you in the healing of Mimi. Dear God, please allow me to participate with you in whatever way you feel Mimi needs. Dear God, remember to always, always end with this. Please, dear God, I will to thy will. What you're saying is, God, we don't know what this person needs. Only you truly knows what she needs. So whatever you will for her, I'm only a participant. God, use my energy. God, use me. Allow me to become a channel. God, use me to be a channel for your healing energy. People say all the time, oh, I'm a healer. No, not really. You are participating in the healing process. You are participating with God in the healing process. And when we say this prayer, what we're saying is, dear God, protect us. Dear God, we are with you. I will to thy will. Okay, so we're done. And Chrissy, I want you to come over here now, okay? Okay, and you are a natural born healer. That doesn't mean that you know exactly what to do. So I'm going to talk you through this. I want you to watch me, and then I want you to do what I'm doing. Okay, you ready, Mimi? Because we've already started anyway. So what I am doing now is I am using my mind, using my energy. I'm connecting with that God force. I am raising my level of consciousness. There's that phrase again, right? I'm raising my level of consciousness to a point where I am allowing God in. I want him in. When I say allowing him in, he can gate crash, he can do it any way he likes. But I want to be surrounded by that God force. I would like my patient to be surrounded by that God force, and I want to share that with Mimi. And simply laying my hands on Mimi, and actually I am going to, if you could lean forward slightly, I am going to run my little hand down her back just a little bit, because as a healer, I know that she suffers with back trouble. And it's important that you feel, and tell me when you begin to feel the heat. Can you tell me then when you begin to feel the heat?
I actually already felt it.
Yeah, well, I hope so, because I'm really good at this. I've done this before, right? Come here, little girl. Christy, place your left hand where my hand is, on her back. No, don't twist. Turn this way. Don't twist. Okay, there you go. Now, does that feel any different to you?
Feels warm.
Pardon?
Feels warm.
It feels warm. Okay. All right. So now you're going to get a double whammy, just so you know. Okay. So We're supposed to be giving healing here, but I've kind of strayed a little bit. But I want all of you to focus on Mimi. Give her your energy. Give her whatever it is you can give to her. If it helps you visualize the color blue and visualize it pouring over her. Who's Mikey?
My son's middle name was Michael, but I never used it.
Well, okay, patience is everything, right? So I'm hearing the name of Mikey or Michael, and I shouldn't be doing this because I'm healing. But there are lots of ways to give healing, right? So, now you've already told me how he passed. Never tell anybody like me any of that information. We had this conversation yesterday, but it came out. It just popped out, didn't it? But that's all right.
I'm okay with that.
I know. Well, you saw me working yesterday, so I think you know what it is I'm up to. But I'm seeing a young man standing right here next to you. Okay. I don't know what he thinks he's done to his hair, but his hair's sort of sticking up a bit. I don't quite know what that is about his hair, but I've got to tell you, you understand?
Yes,
Keep saying yes to me.
yes,
You say yes or no to me. He's supposed to be getting healing, but I think this is probably a better way to give you healing. So, why is his hair sticking up like that? He's lovely. He's a horrible kid. What I call a really horrible kid. You know, when my grandson starts being naughty and mischievous and, just as his eyes start twinkling and, he's up to some trick or another. Your son has the same twinkly eyes and mischief. He's mischievous. Okay, now just keep saying yes or no to me because I want him to hear your voice, okay?
yes,
Okay, all right. Now, although this seemed sudden, it actually wasn't sudden, he tells me. I feel that there were issues,
yes,
problems for quite a long time before he passed. And so I think that he was struggling and battling with himself for a long time before he did this really, really dumb thing.
yes,
Okay? He's, and why I'm talking about his shoes, I've no idea. But I think he sort of likes his shoes and he likes his hair in a funny way. And he's got very, very fabulous sense of humor. He's very, very mischievous and loves to joke around, which is why I think a lot of things were overlooked because he would rather make fun and laugh. But inside of himself, he's such a sensitive boy.
yes,
He tells me to tell you he didn't mean to hurt you. Okay? He didn't mean to do it. Keep your hands on her, would you? Thank you. He tells me he didn't mean to hurt you, but he knows, because he sees, just how devastated you are with all of this, okay?
yes,
Once we're done with this healing, I may well come back to you later to give you a little bit more information. But I just want you to know that as I'm giving you healing, he is also giving you healing. Okay? So it's not gone very far. And I don't think it's going to be going very far. You two lovely ladies who I talked to your sons yesterday. How do you feel about that today? Speak to me.
I wasn't expecting it.
Pardon?
I wasn't expecting, how do you feel?
No, I know you weren't expecting it, but how do you feel today? You feel more positive?
I'm very grateful for it.
No, I know that, but how are you
I'm
feeling?
grateful. You confirmed a lot.
Good, good, and that's good. Okay. So this is going to help you. There's a part of you doesn't want to be helped. There's a part of you that wants to just die alongside him, but you can't. Sorry. You can't do it. You've got too much to do. We're going to talk about that in a little bit when I come back to you. And even if it's at lunchtime, I promise I'll spend a few more minutes with you, okay? So don't think this is it. I just want you to tell you that there's this young kid with a funny haircut and twinkly eyes and very mischievous and likes his shoes for some weird reason or another. Apparently they're new shoes or something. He's talking about some new shoes. Anyway,
Yes, okay, now it's making sense.
sorry?
Now it's making sense.
Okay, well, I did say it's mischievous, and but he wants you to know that even as we're talking to you, you thought you were volunteering, but actually he was pushing you to put your hand up here. So, you know, okay, how are we doing with the healing process? We've forgotten all about it, haven't we? So breathing in, okay, breathing in through your healing through your solar plexus, and I want you to, if you can, visualize. If you're good at visualizing, I want you to visualize the color blue. The color blue is a healing color. It's a beautiful healing color, and most healers. And if you could see Christy's aura, I think. Do you remember yesterday when I said you've got blue all around you? I see this blue aura all around you, and that tells me that she is most definitely a healer. Christy, can you tell us how you're feeling when you're giving healing?
I feel good.
You feel good? Okay, see, it's not nearly as awful as you thought it was going to be, is it? I know you don't want to help people because you're fed up with helping people, and you know, I mean, how do you think I felt last night when I went home? I thought, gosh, those people, I've got to go back tomorrow and see them all again. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love what I do. Your son tells me to tell you that he's helping the angels. How about that? He's helping the angels. So
Yes.
he didn't just disappear. He didn't just die and go into the earth and be no more. He tells me to tell you he's become more and more and more of who he was meant to be. And he's helping the angels and children. He's helping children. There, where's your friend? Do you understand this?
That's my sister.
Oh, that's your sister. Do you understand when he says he's helping the children?
Yeah,
What did
Yeah.
I tell you before we came in here?
we were talking about that in the car, and she goes, I know he's out with children.
Oh, really? Did you say that?
I did, I said the one thing I've asked, if he's okay. If that's the biggest thing, I need to know he was okay. Because he was hurting here on earth.
He was what?
He was hurting here on earth,
Okay.
just inside himself. He never hurt anybody else. And he was always good with kids. And I told my sister, I said, I hope that God gives him a good job taking care of the little kids. Because he was
Wow.
always good with kids.
Don't you love it? Don't you love it? This confirmation, I think it's
That
fantastic.
was a good.
And now look at this. See, look, I don't need to talk to you anymore then.
There you do. There's more I need.
All right. He's telling me to tell you he's helping. No, you do what I say.
I was doing it.
You
I'm sorry.
you do what I say. Right, okay, I'm in charge here, right? So he's helping the children. He is helping the angels and he's helping them with the children. And he's good with children, so he has a job to do. We don't think when we pass, and somebody said yesterday we find peace. No, we don't. We find work to do. We explore. We do stuff. Peace is for when you're dead. Oh, wait, we don't die. So peace is really never a part of it. Enjoying, being, and doing. And he loves helping the children. He's specifically telling me not the babies. You don't want the babies, you know. She said, sorry, he's not. Do you understand, sister? You don't want the babies, you know, no babies. So that from about maybe 4 or 5 upwards, he's good with the children. And that's his job, and that is what he's doing. 2 seconds more to give Mimi some healing, but I think you've already had it, but let's 2 seconds more, breathing in through your solar plexus. You're helping yourselves as well, because as you're doing this and as you're breathing, and you focus there, as we're doing this and as you're breathing and as you're visualizing this wonderful color blue, and as you are sending out your wonderful healing energy, connecting with that God force, raising your level of consciousness, not only are you sending healing to Mimi, you're being really selfish because you're giving it to yourselves too. Bring it into yourself, give to yourself, and then you can give to her. Bring it into yourself, breathe through your solar plexus. Bring it into your... I don't know what's going on here, but anyway, bring it into yourself, bring it into, give it to yourself, be selfish with yourself. Once you've had your fill, then send it over to Mimi. Remember, whatever you give to her is going to come back to you anyway. So it's a boomerang effect. And one more breath. You got 2 seconds. Breathe in. Relax. Perfect ending. Okay, all right. Give me a hug, sweetie pie. You feel better? I do. Good. All right. Thanks, Chrissy. You can. We're good. We're done. All right. Remember that I asked for a volunteer. This is, I'm afraid to tell you, the hot seat, but it's a good seat. It'll teach you something. I asked for a volunteer with a sad story. Now, we just heard a sad story. We've all got a sad story. But I'd like a volunteer to come and sit here to tell their sad story in the sad chair. Who's going to do this? Good girl. Up you come. Let's give her, you know, yeah, because why not? Okay, and your name is? Judy. Okay, Judy. Right, I'm going to move my chair away from you just a little bit. Please tell me if that chair isn't comfortable. If it's not comfortable, you can have this one. You're fine? Okay, all right. Okay, Judy is sitting you're in the sad chair. Yes, hard, right? Everybody has a sad story. We all have a sad story. I'm going to ask Judy to tell us this story. It can be so sad that we're all weeping. I want you to make us cry, just like you cry, just like you hurt. Can you manage to do that for us? Because she is, after all, in the sad chair. Okay. You can, if you like, make notes, because Yes, you can. I'll let you make notes. All right. So I'm giving you this. You need to keep it like that if you can. And okay, let me sit for a second. Pardon?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What did you ask me a question?
No.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm just I'm going to listen. I want to know all about Judy's sad story.
I have one son.
No. Microphone up.
I have one son.
Good job.
Beautiful, beautiful. And he was 36 and he died this summer very unexpectedly.
Don't tell me too much about that, but go ahead.
We don't have the autopsy back. So how he died is still,
Right? Okay.
he's married and has a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old.
With some tissues. Please, hold my hand, babe. Just you stay there. You're telling your story. Remember, this is a sad chair. So if you didn't quite hear what she said, she lost her son. He was 36 unexpectedly. Nobody knows quite what happened.
Thank you. Thank you.
And they're waiting for the autopsy, so she's in the dark about all of that. He has children.
2 little girls,
Yeah,
6 and 4.
yeah.
And they're in Indianapolis with their mother,
Okay.
which is,
Really difficult.
it's difficult, but I will say I have a good relationship with my daughter-in-law.
Okay.
So that's not part of the sad story. The sad story is I don't know how his kids
Go
are
ahead.
gonna remember him.
Give me your hand. So the sad part of this is how can you basically, will they remember him? Will they have any knowledge of him in the future? How do you make sure that he has a presence in their lives? Okay. Okay. That your sad story? Are you done?
That's,
Okay.
there was a lot of confusion when he died.
Let's not talk too much about that
Okay.
because I might be coming to you in a little bit and I don't
Okay.
want to know too much of that.
Okay.
So we've got this sad story, okay? Right, can you hop off of this sad chair, please? Okay. Now, miraculously, you might find this hard, but you volunteered. Miraculously, the sad chair has now turned into the happy chair. Would you like to sit in the happy chair?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead. Sit in the happy chair. So now I want you to tell me a happy story, a really happy story. However, before you start thinking of a happy story, don't bother, because the story in the happy chair has to be the same story that she told in the sad chair. Yes, I know, I did warn you, right? Okay. We're going to look at the sad story, and it's an awfully sad story, a painful story. But now we're going to look at that same story that same story, and we're going to see if we can find little happiness in there, little joy in there. I want you to see if you can make us laugh because you're in the happy chair, right? How do you do that with a sad story? You take a sad story and you've got to turn it around, that same sad story, and then you've got to find somewhere in that sad story some happiness, maybe a little joy, maybe a little laughter. Do you want to give it a try? I'll help you. Okay, keep the microphone slightly closer. That's it, good girl.
Across the board at his funeral, everyone said he brought joy into a room. And he was always the one to make everyone laugh. My family said that. My daughter-in-law's family said that. His colleagues said that. So I'm grateful.
Can you give me, because you're in the happy chair, can you give me an example of his sense of humor? Because I know he had one. He had a horrible sense of humor. Close to a British sense of humor, not quite, but close to a British sense of humor. Can you give me an example, please, of his sense of humor, of something that he did or said that makes you happy when you think about it, please?
He got his degree later in life, about 4 years ago. And when I would say to him in the last couple of years, wow, you know that, or you're smart. And he's like, Mom, I'm book educated.
Does that make you laugh when you think about it?
Yeah.
Can you give us maybe another example of the joy of this boy?
I don't know.
You need to put the microphone a little closer to you.
Okay. Another story.
Or an example, anything.
When he was in high school, and moms will understand this, he exercised every bad teenage muscle.
That's good.
So high school was rough, and it was just me and him. And there was a time that he and his friends made a plan, and it was half-baked. And I knew it was half-baked. And I kept asking him in different ways, like, what are you going to do? And what's going to happen then? And who's going to do what? And he finally said, you can ask me these questions as long as you want. The answer is still going to be the same. Because he was not going to tell me the answer because he didn't have the answer because he made a half-baked story.
Okay.
And that may not be exactly what everyone's looking for. But
No,
that's
no,
tough.
nobody's looking for anything here. Nobody's looking for anything. Okay. I'm going to ask you, when I asked you, can you give me something else, one more thing, okay, I could see you thinking, and I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but all of a sudden, she remembered that memory. She remembered that high school memory, and you could see that she started to smile. This is the happy chair, and this is what we want. We all want to smile. When we're listening to someone in the happy chair, we all want to smile. could you give me, I'm going to help you, perhaps one more example that might be funny that had to do with his kids, maybe. There you go. See that smile? She's in the happy chair. Okay. Can you say, am I in your way? Good. All right.
Because they were so young when he passed. At that time, they were 5 and 6. And I went to where they were staying with their mother and their grandparents. And I stayed there for about 3 weeks. And the biggest joy was taking care of these girls every day.
It's the happy chair. We hope that they are tears of happiness. Are they tears of happiness, young lady? Yes.
What I learned was it's impossible to grieve.
Close. Microphone.
It's impossible to grieve when you're taking care of a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. All you're doing is playing Barbies and coloring and going to the park and telling them stories. Because they would ask, they loved hearing, they would say, Nana, tell us a funny story about Daddy when he was a kid. So I would tell them stories. But the biggest lesson I learned.
No, I'm not asking you a lesson. Excuse me. I'm asking you to tell happy stories. I'm not asking you for a lesson here.
Their favorite story is when he was a baby, like in a baby carrier, and I fed him mashed potatoes, and he spit them out at me and hit me in the face. And my granddaughters, every time I see them, say, Nana, tell us that story about Daddy spitting the potatoes.
Okay. Are we good?
Yes.
Would you like to get out of the chair?
No.
No. Get out of the chair. I'm the boss. Get out of the chair. But do you see the happy chair? Do you see the difference between the sad chair and the happy chair? And when you start to think, you climb over the grief and you start to think of all the fun times. You don't want to give them up, do you? Don't want to get out of that chair, do you?
No.
Right, come away from that chair. You're done in that happy chair. You're not done yet. Because now, you see, this exercise, I do it with my students, and I often do it with, with people as we're doing events like this. Now, I did say that the exercise was called the 3 chairs. So there's a third chair. Would you like to sit back into that chair?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm making you jump up and
Yes.
down. Can you keep the microphone? Because I think the guys are having difficulty. You need to keep it.
I'm going to try.
Okay. And I'll prod you when you
Okay.
forget. How's that? Right. Sit back in that chair. Now, what do you suppose the third chair is? And I'm not going to wait for you to answer me. The third chair is the inspirational chair. So we have the sad chair, we have the happy chair, and we have, hopefully, the inspirational chair. So, we all have sad stories. If we work hard at it, we can always find some humor in that same sad story. And we can turn it into happiness. Okay, not fully, not totally, but sadness and happiness and joy should go hand in hand, always. But it often doesn't because people don't know how to climb over their grief, right? But now we're in the inspirational chair, and you know I'm going to ask you to tell me the exact same story. Yes? But can you, I know it's hard, and this is very new for you. You're doing brilliantly, by the way. If you lived closer, I'd let you be one of my students. Ooh. Well, don't thank me. All my students think I'm horrible. Chris will bear that out. I put my students in the hot seat so often. They hate it, but they love it too, right? Because every time you're in the hot seat, you will learn something. Okay. Inspiration. Can you think with this same story? Can you please tell the same story, but in what way? And it might only be that you've had inspiration in the last few seconds. It might be that you had inspiration when it happened. Who knows? We just would like to know what about your story inspires you and why, if you can, and why it inspires you. You ready? Go. Come on, Judy, you can do it.
My plan, if my son ever died, my plan was to kill myself. And I can't now because there's these little girls. And I'm the bridge to their father.
Keep your microphone close, please. You're a bridge to their father.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I thought it would be so much easier not to live. And now I have to. So I guess that's my inspiration. The little girls.
Can I ask you something else?
Yeah.
And you can say no to this. You say whatever is in your heart, okay? But I'm going to ask you this question. When you were here last night and you were listening, I know you were paying a lot of attention, okay? When you were here last night and you heard the stories and you were listening to me talking and so on, did any of it, or even just sitting in this chair right now, did any of that give you any inspiration in any way? Keep the microphone close.
I think what has been inspiring me is the older I get, the more I realize I don't know everything.
Yes, yes.
Because if you had asked me 20 years ago, do I believe in a medium or spirits? Or I would have said, oh, no, absolutely not. And now I'm open, like I said, to not knowing everything. So I think that's inspiring me.
Okay. Would it inspire you a little more to know that he's standing to your right. Yes, I always get my left and my right mixed up. You should be with me in a car. I'm pointing left and I'm saying, go right, go right. I get my left and my right muddled up, okay? Okay. Would it inspire you to know that he's standing beside you? Standing to your right side and he has his hand on your shoulder. Okay. Now, patience is everything. You said you're waiting for the autopsy. You don't know what's going on and so on. Now, say yes or no, doesn't matter, or I don't know, whatever you want to say, right? There is no right or wrong answer, okay? However, he is describing to me maybe a little while before he passed, having some issues. He's talking about his eyes, and he's talking about his maybe some headaches. Don't nod,
Yes.
don't nod at me, honey bun.
Yes.
Say yes to me. Okay. So he obviously didn't know what was going on. Nobody knew what was going on, but he is talking about having these weird, every now and again, let's call them episodes, shall we?
Yes.
Because that's really what he called them. He kept having these odd episodes. Okay. So I might be able to give you a little indication of what was going on, because he tells me that there is a part of his brain that
Yes.
was bleeding. Okay, so I think he had a little bit of a brain bleed here. And
He did.
okay, and then he's telling me, give me a minute. I have to get it right for you, don't I? Okay. So then he's telling me that it would come and go.
Yes.
He would be fine, then he wouldn't be fine, then he would be fine, and he wouldn't be fine, and it would come and go. And nobody seemed to quite know what to do with him. This wasn't properly diagnosed, let's put it that way. But he was always that person to put himself second. So instead of properly dealing with what was going on, he was busy being a father. He was busy being a husband. He was busy being a son. He was busy, busy, busy.
Yes.
So unfortunately, not that it would have made any difference to the outcome, you understand, because he's saying and reminding us, how many times did we hear this yesterday, when God calls? We can't argue with that. But then he's describing this at the end. It must have happened so fast, so quick, like he was fine, he seemed fine, and then I can't say that it's an embolism. I'm going to say that it's more of a brain bleed, which then boom. And 1 minute he was ordinary, normal, fine, gone. Understand?
Yes, I do.
He did have these headaches just prior to it happening. He tells me one of the things you worry about the most. You're looking at me now. I'm looking at your son. Handsome devil.
Mhm.
I know you're the mother, you're all the,
Yep.
ask them. Okay. But he is, actually. He's got a lovely smile. He's looking at me because he knows that I am his voice for you, okay? The thing that you concern yourself the most about was he in pain? Did he suffer?
Yes.
I have to be honest, can't sugarcoat it. They're his words, not mine. Don't shoot the messenger, please. For a brief moment, there was pain. We can't escape it. For a brief moment, but it was like, ooh, gone. And he's describing to you what happened next. He tells me that he was lifted. I'm trying to give you it in his words. He was lifted up.
Yes.
He felt himself being lifted up.
Yes.
Now, you think he was lifted by whoever was there and all that stuff. No, he's talking about what happened to him as his spirit left his body, as his etheric body left the physical body. There were his angels, and he's laughing because you're not sure that you even believe in angels. Come on, I mean, let's be real. Angels with wings and halos and all that. I was just the same as you. People would say to me, even when I was working doing this, people would say to me, do you believe in angels? And I said, and I used to say, I'll let you know when I see one. And boy, then I saw one. Because you don't know until you see, and you're right to question. You are absolutely right to question. I wish more people would question. I wish more people would be more critical. Okay? Anyway, he was lifted, he tells me, he's laughing, by his angels. And he felt himself being carried. Now, initially, it was dark, not horribly dark, but just dark. But as he started to move, he could not only see the light, but he could feel the warmth. And it got brighter and brighter until the point where he was practically blinded by the light. We might call it the light of God. We might call it the light of our angels. I would say it's pretty much all of the above. Imagine my surprise, he says, because he didn't really know if this stuff was true. And there he was, experiencing it and living it. There are so many people that he met. The whole of your family, there's a crowd, just letting you know. There is, I'm laughing, as this is no reflection on the baldies in this room, just saying. There is a lovely man standing next to him who doesn't have much hair on the top of his head, is balding on the top. Again, good looking, very, when I look at him, he looks to be quite stern, but behind that stern exterior lies a whole lot of fun, right?
Yes.
He's sort of, one of those people, you look at them and they're a bit scary looking, but then they get you.
Yes.
And so he's standing with this man They are here together to come to let you know. He says, Mom, I made it. It's really me. I made it. There's a ring. I'm not quite sure about this ring. There's a ring, but nobody seems to know what to do with this ring. He's talking about the girls. You've already told us about the girls. He would very much like you to tell them. He wished they didn't play Barbie quite so much, because he's not really into Barbie. But would you tell them he comes and he plays with them and he sits and he listens? And the best way, and this is your job, and this is why you were left behind, and this is why you will not take your own life, because you cannot. You are the voice of your son. You are there to tell the stories. You are there to let his daughters get to know him. The funny parts and the not so funny parts. He tells me that he was no angel, especially when he was young. You know, there's a tendency when we lose someone, there's a tendency for us to make all of a sudden they turn into saints, don't they? You know, well, one minute they're the worst people in the world, the next minute they're saints. He's laughing. He is not a saint, but he is lovely. He will be with you always. And when you tell the stories to your grandchildren, and you don't have to be there because there's such a thing as FaceTime and there's such a thing, you know, all this technology. When you tell those stories, don't just tell the good stuff. Tell them how naughty I was when I was a boy, because he likes that. Tell them how mischievous I often was, because he likes that. But most importantly, would you tell them he will be their angel and he will watch them and he will watch over them and he will guide them for the rest of their lives. And Mom, look at me, Mom, when it's your turn, I'm sorry, not for a while. Sorry. You got to stay here. You got a job to do. When it's your turn, he's going to come. He'll be the one to hold your hand, and he'll be the one to help your angels to bring you over. In the meantime, he's asking, please stop saying, I just want to be with you. Stop it. He doesn't like it. You got a job to do. So I want you to remember. Easy to remember the sad stuff, isn't it? I want you to remember the sad chair. Easy. Then I want you to remember the happy chair. And how many times you laughed and how many times you smiled when you thought of those wonderful memories. And then I want you to remember the inspiration that you've been given today by having him come to you. Can't get better than that. You can't get better than me.
Yeah.
Between the two of us, we're pretty darn good.
Yes.
I want you to remember that, because he is inspiring you or trying to inspire you to go on. I know you don't want to. Stop being difficult about it. But I want you to remember the inspiration that this can give to you if you allow it to. And you've got to stop saying every night when you go to bed, can I just come? I want to come. Why doesn't God take me out? So would you like to know the answer? Would you like to know the answer to that question, Judy?
Yes,
Because it's not your time,
right.
and you can't go before your time.
And I have to be there for those little
And
girls.
get on with it. And find joy in it. It's not a chore, it's a joy. Do you understand me? Look at
Yes.
me. Do you understand me? It is not a chore, it is a joy.
It is a joy.
Thank you very much. He's putting his arms wrapped around you. Can you feel him? He's asking, can you feel his head leaning against your head? If only, if only. When you go to bed at night, instead of moaning and complaining that you're still here, think about him lying next to you with his head right next to you on the pillow, giving you courage, giving you strength, and hoping that you will be his voice for his children. He loves you very, 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 very much. He really does. I got a question.
Yeah.
Are you glad you volunteered?
Yes.
Get off that chair. Come give me a hug.
Thank you.
Oh, God, you're welcome. Okay, now, Judy, if you'd like to sit down, thank you so much. Right, so, okay, we talked yesterday. Oh, I've got to sit back a minute, hold on. La 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 la, la 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 la. Okay, do you remember yesterday, everything is attitude? Remember me saying that? I need my Coke. It's the only thing that keeps me going. Although I do like to take, and especially if I'm traveling or if I'm working, I always take ginseng and royal jelly. Have you ever tried that? Oh, it's such a peps you up, gets you going for the day. Right. So remember yesterday I said I was going to show you how your attitude can change. Unfortunately, you're the ones who have to work on it. I can't do it for you. Nobody else can do it for you. But when you are sitting there by yourselves, you're thinking about your story, because we all have a sad story. It will really help you, I promise, if... Yeah, but you can't, sorry, you can't do that. See, now I lose my train of thought again. Give me a minute here. Sorry, I'm muttering again to myself, which is not really to myself. I mean, you gotta feel him. I mean, gotta feel him right there. He's pushy though, I have to tell you, very, very pushy. Anyway, sorry. Right, sorry, what was I saying? Right, every time you think of your lives and you think about, you try to think, how can I make it better? What can I do to make it better? What can I do to be more positive? Because again, it's like making that cake, isn't it? I can, I can actually tell you how to make I make the best I make what I call a chock-a-mocha. You ever heard of a chock-a-mocha? You won't, because it's mine, and I have a cookbook. I started making this cookbook because when my daughter was sort of, she first came to New York, even younger than that, when she was on her own and learning to cook, she'd call me up and she'd say, Mom, do you remember when I was at school and they made this custard pie, and then I came home and told you about it, and then you made one that was much better. Can you remember? Can you give me the recipe? And I'm thinking, this is 20 years ago. What's she talking about? But I really knew what she was talking about. And of course, as the older she gets, the more she had made friends, wanted to have people for dinner and so on and so forth. And I started writing things down. And then because I'm a creative, what I do when I cook is I open the doors and I see what's in there, and I look in the fridge and the freezer, and I see what's in there, and then I get creating. I love to create. So this is about being creative, okay? So I've given you the ingredients. I've given you the sad chair. I've given you the happy chair. And I've given you the inspirational chair. Okay, I've given you all the ingredients that you will need ever in your life to change your attitude from a negative to a positive. You got all the tools. I gave you all the tools. The only thing I can't do for you is I can't make the cake. I can't make your attitude change. I've given you the tools. As you're using these tools, again, what is happening when you go through the process of looking at the bad, looking at the negative, and then thinking, okay, how can I turn this into a positive? It's the same story. I'm dealing with the same story. But how can I change it? How can I make it better? How can I create a more positive and a more creative attitude? And then, okay, same story. What about this story inspires me? Because we all need inspiration to take that next step and that next step, don't we? We need the inspiration to somehow keep going forward. We all need that. So I've given you, in this little exercise, far more than you could ever use in your lifetime. I've given you tools that you can use to create positivity and happiness and joy and inspiration. But if you leave the ingredients sitting in the cupboard, that chocolate cake's never going to get made. If you leave your tools in your tool bag and you never take them out, nothing's going to change. So I'm hoping I can inspire you to use those tools, if not on a daily basis, at least on a weekly basis, because attitude is everything. Thoughts are the most powerful things we have, tiny pulses of energy that go out into the universe, right? Attitude is about thoughts. Thoughts dictate our attitude. So we have to power through those thoughts. Sitting in these 3 chairs, we can do it. I've given you the tools to do it. And now I would like you to, if you possibly can, use them.